What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Zile. Today we're going to go over the CG Raegan banner, touch on the step up a little bit, give you a nice overview of all the characters, how good their TMRs are, stuff like that, and I'll give you my opinion on whether or not you should pull on this banner, guys. So let's get into it right now. We're going to start off with the 3-star base, 5-star max on the banner. We're going to go with Lucille. So sadly, she's locked to a 5-star max right now, so she's not going to be super amazing, but she does have a decent TMR. We have the Brontes. It's a one-handed gun, 120 attack with lightning element attached to it. So now we have a very high attack gun in the game, decently accessible as a TMR with lightning element. So lightning elemental dual wield gun users, pretty cool there. We had Sparky from a long time ago on Olive, but that was a TMR on a 5-star base. Sparky's got double hand on it, but you can dual wield Sparky. So if you're looking to dual wield a gun in something else with lightning elemental, then Bronte's gonna be something that you might be interested in. You don't need to like TMR Moogle it or anything, but it's something to keep in mind in the back of your head if you ever want a lightning elemental gun. Now, as far as the unit, like I said, she's 5-star max, so nothing super insane. She doesn't have anything great. You can take her in the arena for ricochet, but that's about it. She's got 30% breaks. Maybe if you're brand new to the game, that'll be interesting for you to have access to, but there's a lot of 40% break stats on a lot of different units that are pretty easily accessible nowadays. Like Timothy is like 50%, man's insane. But outside of that, nothing too insane on our girl Lucille. So we're gonna move from her over to Zile here. Zile, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's a pretty interesting unit. He is a 6-star max. He's a nice chain finisher, actually. His Trust Master is the Bomber's Bicorn, 36 attack hat. So this is gonna be the best hat you can have for like a true double hand build, even outside of a true double hand build or double hand build, even like a dual wield build, because this is a step up from Black Cow, which is 28 attack. It's a step down from like Precious Hairpin, but like Precious Hairpin is so great, but it's also on a 5-star base unit who's really hard to get a hold of, as I know, because she does not ever get put on any banners. So 45 attack on Precious Hairpin, 36 on the Bombers Bicorn. I don't know, man. It's a bad day for me, but pretty cool. So let's get into him right here. His attack stat after pots, 149, and then 34 after pots there. So he's got 183 attack after pots. That's pretty decent there. No resistances to speak of. His downside, he can only wear swords and guns natively. So that's a downside to him. He's got access to shields, hats, helms, all the traditional stuff. No heavy armor though. Take note. All right, so let's get into his skills here. We got spread shot, heavy shell, heavy reload, and blank fire. Spread shot and heavy shell, really low multipliers here, 1.4 and then 3.0. Heavy shell is pretty decent AoE though, 3.0 multiplier to all enemies, that's fine. Doesn't chain, it's a chain finishing skill. Then you have heavy reload, which enables access to vulnerability for 1 turn, super reload, and powerful shell, and then it also gives you 4 LB gauge. So what this guy's going to be very good at doing is just like a CG Jake, he can power up himself quite well and unleash a very devastating single hit chain finisher move. Now we have blank fire, increases your attack and magic by 80% for 3 turns. Auto regen, some small auto regen. Bomber's intuition, 30% attack, 50% true double hand based on his kit. That's pretty cool there. That's going to be an awesome passive. And then defense plus 20% and attack plus 20%. So now we have all of his unlocked skills. This man can charge his laser for days. We have heavy reload, super reload, super reload, super reload, heavy reload, devastating reload, forbidden reload. Okay, so super reload gives you devastating reload and super shell for 1 turn. Remember, this is unlocked by using heavy reload. This is super reload. So you can get devastating reload and super shell. Devastating reload, if you decide to use that, will give you forbidden reload and still devastating shell. And this, well, they scale up, increasing your LB gauge by 8, 12. The first one was 4. All right. Okay, let's get in on this. Forbidden reload gives you access to exploding shell for 1 turn and gives you 16 LB crystals. All right, so now he's farming it up. Pretty cool. Powerful shell is a 5.5 times multiplier with a critical hit guaranteed. Critical hit increases your damage by 50%. So this is basically adding like another 2.75 multiplier on top of that. So it's just over an 8.0 multiplier there. It has a chance to fail though. It has a chance to fail, which means basically you just miss 34% of the time or your character doesn't do anything. Super shell is a 10 times mod with a critical hit, so a 15 times mod with only a 23% chance to fail. We have devastating shell with a 15 times mod with critical hit. So with a 22.5 times modifier with a 12% chance to fail. And then we have exploding shell. Physical damage, 26.5 times multiplier to all enemies and increases your LB gauge by 20. This only works 20% of the time though. When you use exploding shell, 20% of the time you can do 26.5 times multiplier to all your enemies. 80% of the time you can do 26.5 times multiplier to all your allies. So you don't really want to use Exploding Shell unless you're trying to feel real lucky. What you want to be using is Devastating Shell or Super Shell. Super Shell on its own is 15 times mod. That's insane. Devastating Shell is a physical damage 15 times mod with a critical hit. So that's already going to be a 22 something mod. So it's only a little bit weaker than Exploding Shell, and you don't have a chance to kill your whole team. So you don't want to do that. And then his LB here, Nightly Crossfire, if you max it out at 6 starts, it's physical damage 17.2 times modifier to all enemies. It's a 3-hit skill. Be able to chain weave, chain finish with this skill relatively easily. So this guy is pretty cool. If you've been lacking a chain finisher to do some damage, he's an option for you. He's a 4-star base. Take him into 10-man trials. Just because 10-man trials, the way that they are most of the time, the first phase is relatively easily. The boss doesn't do that much damage, but the last phase is what's going to destroy you. So what you can do is bring Zile in for the first phase and just charge up his skills, bring up his LB, unlock his skills, and then like say you take him in there for a while and you unlock Devastating Shell. Okay, the turn you unlock Devastating Shell, you don't have to use it. You can just put him in the back of the party and that skill will stay unlocked until you bring him back in. So you can unlock Devastating Shell phase 1, take him out, and then when you're in the final phase, you want to OTK the monster from like 30% health, you bring him in, you chain finish with Devastating Shell, or you chain finish with Nightly Crossfire, and you end the fight that way. So pretty cool. His downside, he can only use swords and guns. That's about it though. We do have access to, I think if you're around for the Tomb Raider event, a 2-handed dark double-handed gun. I don't know why I said 2-handed and double-handed, but get that nice gun damage variance. He's pretty interesting. We may mess around with him. He looks fun. He looks super fun, guys. All right, now we have Ryu. I don't know, dude. Don't blame me. All right, so we have a bard here. Her trust mastery is the nymph harp. Magic plus 28, spirit plus 102, HP plus 20%. Gives you auto limit, which is nice there. And it's a 2-handed weapon, but I don't think you're going to be doing a true double-hand harp build anytime soon, especially since this harp has no attack on it whatsoever, okay? So she looks pretty cool. She can use staves, rods, harps, daggers, traditional mage / bard gear. Her abilities here, pretty okay. None of these really matter that much. She's got Confuse, remove all status effects from one enemy, so she's got Dispel, that's pretty cool. She has Hide, Libra, that's nice. Well, I guess it's Analyze, not Libra. She does have access to Entrust, okay, but we'll have to see exactly how expensive her LB is going forward, because remember, a good Entruster is someone who has a very cheap LB, not a very expensive LB. Then we have her her 4 main support moves. We have Healing, Cantilena, I don't know. I'm not an art major. I'm sorry. Okay. HP and MP refreshed over 3 turns while singing. It's okay. The modifiers aren't the greatest. You probably won't use this skill that much. Charming Warm-Up enables access to General's Tale next turn. It's going to be one of her best skills. And then mitigate damage for the caster, so for herself, by 30% for 1 turn. Passionate Bullet. Increase LB gauge fill rate by 200% for 3 turns to all allies. This is awesome. 200% LB fill rate, and it's not a song, it's just a buff, so you can just throw this up whenever you want. Song for Praise, increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 65% for 3 turns for all allies while singing. It's a nice small buff that you can put up there. It's like a bad heroes rhyme, basically, but she has a 4-star base, not a 5-star max, or not a 5-star base. She has 6-star max, not a 5-star max. Spirit plus 20%, Nomad, Poet, Petal Fall Lover, and Instrumental Knowledge. So none of these are all that great. Wind resistance and stuff, Spirit, recover HP and MP while walking around. None of these are insane. And then Charming Warm-Up activates General's Tale. General's Tale, increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 80% for 3 turns to all allies. Heal HP and MP while singing for 3 turns to all allies, and increase LB gauge fill rate by 150% for 3 turns to all allies. I do not believe that this LB gauge fill rate 150% will stack with their 350 because they're both LB gauge fill rate buffs. So if you put this one up and then try to sing this, this is not going to do anything for you. It's going to be only the LB gauge fill rate 200%, which is still more than enough. So this is going to be like her budget hero rhyme. You can't do it on turn 1, and every time you want to do it, you have to take a turn off to use Charming Warm-Up. That's going to be her biggest downfall, guys, is that every 3 turns you'll be taking a turn off to use Charming Warm-Up, and on that turn you will not have your attack, defense, magic, and spirit 80% buffs. Then we have One Boy's Odyssea. Recover HP 60%, MP 55% for all allies. So her LB gauge is 20. It's not the cheapest ever, but she does have Entrust, so this is a decent LB gauge cost for Entrust. So you can use her in Entruster. The problem with that is she'll be singing a lot. So I don't know. Not the greatest, guys. Not the greatest. So now we're going to get to the final guy here. Raegan. All right. CG Raegan, a.k.a. just Raegan. His TMR, let's get into it here. Hero's Vow Dark. Very strong. Hero's Vow Dark increases your LB gauge fill rate by 50%. It's a materia. And then increase your attack by 30% when equipped with a katana, 30% when equipped with a sword, 30% when equipped with a dagger, and 30% when equipped with a great sword. And yes, you can have multiples of these active at the same time. So if you're dual wielding, you can get up to 60% attack with 50% LB gauge fill rate from Hero's Vow Dark. So it's going to be best in slot for a decent amount of time, only replaced by some super TMRs if you're a dual wielder, because 60% attack, that's a lot of stats, my guys. All right, so his stats here, very nice. 156 base attack, 186 after pots. That's what he's going to be focused on. His weapons, got nice weapon selection between knives, swords, great swords, katanas, bows, spears, guns, fist weapons, all the armor selection you can want in the world, hats, helms, all the different armor types, as in heavy and light and clothing. All right, so his skills here, 6-star, I'm not going to lie, he's a little bit more limited on his skills than he will be at 7-star. So I have Blue Blade Ruin, physical damage, a 1.8 multiplier. This is basically just a very cool way to lever your opponent. Attack and magic debuff of 50 or 40%. View image info on one enemy. That's it. Instant flash, 1x multiplier to all enemies. Restore 18 MP to all allies. Probably never going to use this, although keep in mind if you are dual wielding, this is going to use this skill twice, and you'll get 36 MP in your whole team. But still, that's a paltry amount of MP restoration. We have Soul Blazers for some decent support, 1.8 multiplier, and then increase fire, water, wind, earth, light, and dark resistance by 50% for 3 turns to all allies. This is a very nice skill to have just randomly on your unit. You can buff basically everything in the game. He's missing ice and lightning, I do believe, for elemental buffs. Now we have Mountain Dive, physical damage 1.8, multiplier to one enemy, decrease attack, defense, magic, and spirit for 3 turns to one enemy. So small damage, 40% full break to a single enemy. Actually, guys, I just looked at this. Lightning and ice are missing. Those are the 2 Veritaases that are missing. Makes sense. Okay, makes sense. Hero's Edge now. We're moving on. 2.4 times multiplier to all enemies. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 6% for 3 turns to all allies. So if you don't have a bard on your team, you're relatively new and you do get Raegan, you'll probably use this as a nice small buff for your team. And attack, defense, magic, and spirit break, nice for new players as well. Burning Blood, fire, physical damage, 1.8 multiplier, increase LB gauge by 6 to the caster. If you're dual wielding, this will activate twice. You're going to get 12 LB crystals instead of the 6. Now, his main move that you're going to be using to do damage is Blades of Azure. Crimson, physical damage, 4.8 multiplier, so decent multiplier there. Decrease fire and ice resistance by 60% for 3 turns to one enemy. So this allows you to play off of an enemy who's weak to fire or weak to ice, obviously, but that needs to be said because it makes him much more flexible as a dual wield chainer. He's not locked to fire damage, he's not locked to ice damage. He can go in there and do whatever he wants. You can take advantage of either of those, but if the enemy's resistant to both of those, you can just put on like a thunder weapon or a holy weapon or a great weapon. You won't, a great weapon, dark weapon. You won't get benefit from this, but it's needed to be said that he's not locked to these elements because it's not fire, ice damage, it's just physical damage. Complete Awakening, this is a new skill, costs 36 LB crystals, increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 200% for 3 turns to the caster, mitigate damage by 30% for 3 turns to the caster, heal 6,000 HP with some HP modifier there of 15 times on the healing mod over 3 turns, and then refresh 20 MP with a 0.2 healing mod split over 3 turns as well. This is extremely expensive for what you get, in my opinion. If you already have like a decent bard with 110% buffs or something, this is basically 90% buff over top of that. It's an insane buff, don't get me wrong, but it costs 36 LB crystals. Maybe something that you want to do, maybe something you don't want to do, because his LB is pretty decent, guys. Now his skills here, his traits: dual wield, magic plus 20%, don't know why that's there. HP plus 30%, sword mastery, dagger mastery, katana mastery, and large sword mastery. So you're going to put a sword, dagger, katana, great sword on. That's 100% attack between 2 of those passives that'll activate. If you have his own TMR, it's going to be another 60% attack. So with just one materia, you can get 160% attack buff. That's insane. Now we have Clear Will, HP and MP recovery, and LB generation, 2 per turn as well. It's a nice passive here with Clear Will. Now his magic, he's got magic. Faraga, Blizzaga, Kiraga. Okay, you can off heal a little bit. Raise, Bar Blizzaga, and Bar Faraga. some nice supporting skills there. If someone dies, you can bring them back 30% HP, but maybe your healer can pick up the slack with a Kiraga or two. Now his LB here is the Darkness Purging Blades of Azure Crimson. That's a lot. That's a lot of words in one name, okay? Now at max level here, it's a 12 times multiplier to all enemies. Decrease fire and ice resistance by 100% for 3 turns to all enemies as well. Nice multiplier, 12.0, that's decent. 7 hit, you can chain a little bit. Also costs 36 LB crystals. So if you want to use this skill, you have to decide if you want to do the damage with the fire and ice resistance down. Probably. That's probably what you want to do. Or do you want to do a complete awakening? I don't think you'll be doing complete awakening that many times, maybe to help you like live a little bit or get some MP back. I think most of the time you're going to be doing the Darkness Purging Blades of Azure Crimson. Ooh, that name. So Raegan's pretty cool. Should you pull for him? He gets a lot better as a 7-star. He gets a lot more chaining frames. He gets a new chaining family that you'll see a lot in the 7-star. He's a part of it. You'll hear the name more often. I think it's called the AT family, the Absolute Tranquility, I do believe the name is. It's an 8-hit chaining family, and it is the second most popular family of chaining partners, only second to the Divine Ruination Holy Explosion family that we know and love so well. And the Absolute Tranquility family has some insanely strong skills associated with it. Raegan is a very powerful dual-wield unit. It's pretty decent now. He's got some utility. He's got very high stats. You're basically going to be spamming Azure Blades of Crimson, and they're going to be using, what is this skill down here? Darkness Purging Blades of Azure Crimson. He's all about the Azure Crimson. Yeah, you can go ahead if you want to be part of the dual-wield meta. He's awesome for that, and absolutely insane unit there. He gets much better as a 7-star in the future. Works very well with Laswell in 7-star mode, so if you want to do like a Raegan, Laswell, Fire Ice team, you can do that. They're very good partners. Now the banner overall, it's pretty decent. Raegan's a very solid 5-star, very easy, accessible character for new players. If you do randomly get into him, dual wield off the bat, very nice chaining partners right now with the Divine Ruination family. Gets more chaining partners later on, gets higher damage skills later on, doesn't require true double hand or double hand gear, doesn't require a lot of gear, just want to work his attack up, do a bunch of damage that way. So Raegan, he's a very solid character. He's not the best character in the game. If you have access to double hand stuff, he's going to be outclassed there, but if you don't, he's an extremely solid character to go ahead and pick. If you wind up getting here, you don't have another bard like Zile or basically any other bard in the game, think about maybe using her just for the attack, defense, magic, spirit buff, the HP, MP regen. If you don't have anything like that, maybe think about using her if you get her. I wouldn't pull for her. She's not like a meta defining unit by any means, but she does have a couple utilities associated with her if you don't have any of the other stuff that we talked about. Basically HP, MP regeneration, and some small attack, defense, magic, and spirit bonuses. Nowadays, those things are a dime a dozen, so you probably have a much better unit than she is. Now, Zile, primarily if you want someone to do a bunch of damage, primarily for 10-man trials, then definitely think about getting a Zile, level them up to max level, give them whatever best gear you have. You know, if you're around for the Bart's event, maybe just make them like double hand, some sort of gun or something. He's got 50% true double hand. Maybe put double hand from the free Bart's team art that we got a while back that you could buy. If you have a couple other pieces, cool. You'll be able to come in, use his LB to finish off a lot of the 10-man trials who aren't immune to physical damage, obviously. But yeah, definitely a cool character. His hat's pretty nice. The Bomber's bicorn. Go ahead and get that if you don't have like a Prish hairpin, if you want to have an upgrade from the black cowl. Now, Lucille, if you want the Brontes, you just fuse them all together, maybe farm it up or something in Earth Shrine. Outside of that, she's not a usable unit. Okay, guys, so let's go in. So as far as the step-up banner is concerned, it's pretty decent. It's not terrible. You get a couple Moogles. You get some percentage upgrades on Raegan. You get a 30% 5-star ticket as well. For the first pull, you get a 1.5% increase on getting Raegan. The last step, I think, is what, like a 5 times increase on Raegan. So that's not bad either. And with the 30% ticket, I think you have around like a 50-something% chance after going through all of the steps to actually get a Raegan. All in all, you can also go up through just the 3 steps, which should be around what, like 3,000 Lapis. I do believe you get 7 units, a 5% TMR Moogle, and a 30% Rainbow ticket. You don't have to use that ticket on the Raegan banner. You can save it for another banner, Awaken Rain, cough cough, in the near future. That's a decent shot as well. But 10 plus 1 pull on average gives you like a 30% chance to get a rainbow per pull during a step up. So it's not too bad. You can get like a 30% chance to get a 5-star unit for 3K with all things said and done, with a little bit of an increased chance on Raegan. So if you want Raegan, go ahead and do it all the way through. And if you want, you know, a different unit in the future, maybe think about doing the 3K Lapis up to step 3 and save that ticket for later, or you can use it and try to get Raegan now as well. But that's going to be it, guys. If you want to see more stuff, CG unit guides are still coming out. Go ahead and look forward to that in the future. I throw Raegan in there as well, I do believe. So now we have Sid, Laswell, Sakura, Fina, and Raegan to do. So look forward to that stuff. If you want to see that, go ahead and hit the sub button. Thanks for the support. Previous content in the playlist section, as always. And I'll see you guys in the next one.